Welcome to the not ready for prime time version of I just want to draw perfect isometric shapes. How do I do it? I tried to learn this on my own, then I watched videos and I tried to reproduce what I was learning in videos, and the videos usually said, option drag and this will snap into place and it'll be close enough. Now, for my purposes, close enough doesn't work. So I tried and tried and tried, and this is what I came up with. So if you're that type of person that just has to have it just right, okay, open up a new document. I'm going to click on the artboard tool to show you that this document has been changed to my reference point, has been moved to the upper left-hand corner, so the X and Y are 0 and 0 respectively, if you don't want to confuse those two. The width set to 3,000 pixels and the height to the ever-popular 2006 pixels, which will be made clear soon enough. And then, very important, go up to the View menu, make sure your Smart Guides are on, and your snapping is off. If there are any checkboxes here, click that and then double check that there are no checkboxes, because snapping will ruin your day. Trust me, my day's been ruined too many times by snapping. Now, to begin, just have the default colors here, and those default colors are fine for now. Come down to where one of these tools are and select the Polygon tool by clicking and holding on that. And then don't click and drag, just click, because who knows how many sides you have set here. The default is 6. 6 is what we want. The radius doesn't matter at all. We'll click OK, hit the letter V to get the selection tool. Come up till we get that little rotate icon, get close to 90 degrees, hold down Shift, and it should snap. There it goes. 90 degrees, Illustrator. You're going to do this to me, huh? Okay, so look, there's our perfect hexagon. We have vertical. You got to have vertical sides. If these aren't vertical, you got to start over right now. Back the video up. Your life will be a living hell if that's not there. So now, with that selected, my laptop doesn't have enough room, so I don't see the transform. I don't see the X and Y and width and height. So the upper left-hand corner is the reference point. We want to register to that corner so we can set the X and Y to 0 and 0. Then the width, you can't freelance on this. You have to set this to 50. I know, no one likes to be a slave, but you have to. You have no choice. 50 pixels. And when you hit Tab, even though we have constrained the width and height, Illustrator is lying to us, or at least it is on my computer. Look, if I tab around, it doesn't matter. It stays at 100. Only when I deselect and reselect will Illustrator tell me the truth. Remember these numbers, 50 and 57.735. There will be a test later. Now, we want to move this, but we don't want to move it by option dragging, because it's a lie. Don't trust that. Normally, it may work, but right now, you can trust me. Double click on the selection tool, come up to Object, Transform, and Move, or learn this shortcut, because we're going to use this again and again and again and again and again and again and again. So Shift Command M, and by default, preview is off. I recorded this video 42 times, and I know it's off because it's always off the first time you use Illustrator. This button should be called Turn Me On. Someone forgot at Adobe. Now, as far as the horizontal goes, how wide is our hexagon? What 50 pixels, you say? 50 is exactly the number we're looking for. The vertical is 0, and the distance, look, when we hit Tab, it jumps to 50, and the angle, Illustrator knows. It's a genius that we're moving 50 pixels. Now, the most important thing is don't click OK or hit Return, hit Copy. So now you can zoom in and check this out later, but if you do, well, we'll leave that for another video. Command D, or just hold down Command D, and off they go. And the hexagon is leading the race. Okay, I'm going to zoom out, spacebar, Command drag to the left, move this guy over, and Command D. Now, it's okay to have too many of these, but it's not okay to have too few. So come out about half again as far, hit Command A, and then Shift Command M. We're going to move again, but this time we're not moving 50 pixels. We're moving half of 50, but we want to go in the opposite direction. So half of 50, if we pull out our calculators, is 25, minus 25. The distance, we don't know the vertical. We have no idea. We want to change the distance to 50, hit tab again, minus 120. Good old sines and cosines, huh? And you thought you'd never use trigonometry. Come on. Look at that. Who would have known 43.3013? Hit copy. And then Command D, and now we see why we had all of these extras out here, so it would fill up for us. Boom. And we let go. Wow. Hit it just right. And look at these little pointy things on the end. That's why we got the extra 6 pixels, huh? Now, we want to select everything. I'm going to just zoom in a little bit because I can't see. Let's zoom out just a touch. And I'm going to click and hold and select everything to the right side of my artboard and hit delete. Then hold down the space bar, move this over, and once again, click and select everything, whoops, outside of the artboard, and hit delete. Then Command 0. And we can see our entire grid. And if you zoom in on it, go ahead and zoom in. I dare you to zoom in. It's perfect. It's perfect. It doesn't get any more perfect than this. Try that with your option dragging and snapping. Okay, so I'm going to select everything because I find black boring. And I'm going to double click on the stroke. Everybody says have no fill. I like the fill. I can see what's going on even though it's the same color as my artboard. And I'm going to pick a beautiful turquoise. Ah, yes, the perfect color. And then I have no idea how thin you want to make this stroke, but I'm going to make it 0.2 with my failing eyes. That lets me see this just so. And now we're going to lock this layer. And we should probably double click this and call it something clever like hex grid. And then add a new layer and double click that and call it something clever like art. All right. Congratulations, you have made a perfect hexagonal grid, which will allow us to create perfect hexagonal art. Now I'm going to come in here and somewhere around the center, I'm just going to click and drag it. I want to zoom in on one particular hexagon. This hexagon is special. Now hit the letter P for the pen tool. And everybody says in the tutorials I watched is don't draw with a fill, draw with a stroke. And I'm going to say don't draw with a stroke. Sorry. I have been to a doctor and I've been told I'm not contagious. I'm just annoying and will cough for a little while. I pick some light color. Hopefully that won't continue the rest of this tutorial. And we have the pen tool, not one of these other screwy pen tools. Okay, very annoying. And come up and find an anchor, not a path, not this line, a perfect anchor. 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 And then you got to hunt. Ooh, I found it. This intersect. Here's where smart guides do pay off. And you can say, hey, I'm done. Look, no, finish the job. Always finish the job. Come up where it says anchor. Don't trust intersect because you could have been on this line. Who knows? Then hold down Command and click to deselect. And then you can come up and click, and we're going to fill in our other sides. Don't go over here. Don't get impatient. Come back up one side at a time. Finish the job. Command click. Probably control on PCs. You guys figure it out, huh? Come up where it says anchor. Click and click, click. And then finish up the job. And I know what you're thinking. This doesn't look like a cube. Command click. I'm going to hit the letter V to get my selection tool. This looks like a hexagon. But when you roll over it, you see the cube faces. Well, select one of the cube faces. Double click on the color wheel and pick a slightly darker color. Click and, or if you start with a darker color, a slightly lighter color. The object is to have 3 distinct colors on each side of the cube. Now, I'm going to test your memory. How wide and how tall is this cube if we have done our job perfectly? How wide and how tall? Do you remember? Hit transform, put on your glasses, 50 pixels, 57.735. That is exactly right. Thank you, Illustrator. All right, going to zoom out and move this down. Now, I did this tutorial perfect last time, and I forgot to convert the original cube into a symbol. Don't you hate it when that happens? Convert this, trust me. Why do I have to convert it to a symbol? And window symbol. Give it a clever name, and you've got your symbol now. And we'll leave it there. Now, why? Okay, well, I'll explain at the end. For right now, you have this selected. You know it's the perfect size. Now, in everybody else's, they option drag this thing, and then it snaps into place. Go ahead and do that. Do that 10 times, and then zoom in all the way, and you see, zoom in all the way. You see how close and perfect that is. We are going to use move again. Shift, Command M. This is the greatest number of all time. We don't know. Well, we do know what the horizontal is. We got no idea what the vertical is, but we know the distance is exactly minus 28.868. You know, you use that number all the time. Minus 28.868 at an angle of minus 90. Hit Tab. Move this so we can actually see what we're doing. Hit Copy. Did that really work? That's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Now we're going to select all of those instances of our symbol that I actually remembered to make this time. Shift Command M. And we're going to move Tab, Tab, not minus, but plus 28.868 at minus 150 degrees. Hit Tab. And then click Copy. That's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Command A to select them all. Move this up a little bit. Shift Command M. Here we go. Tab, Tab. 28.868 minus 30. Tab. Copy. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Now, do you remember the magic, not the 28.868? If we select everything, how wide and how tall? Remember, there's 10 of them, so you just add a 0. This shouldn't be that hard, right? And instead of 50, we have 500. But instead of 500 even, we have 8 1,000ths of a pixel too much. Illustrator, Adobe, I'm outraged. 8 1,000ths of a pixel? This is as close to perfect as I can get. I have tried everything I know of. If you know of a better way to do this, I want to hear it because I want to learn it. Because I really would. I'm that OCD. I really don't want to miss by 8 1,000ths of a pixel. And now, I promised that at the end I'd say, why? Why? A symbol. Well, how many cubes are here, right? There's 100 on a side. There's 10 by 10. That's a lot of cubes, right? You can do the math. 10 times 10. Anyway, you want to change them all? Edit that symbol. You can change the color of every single face on this cube. Then, when you start doing the really fun stuff me and my kids have been doing, carving. Everybody builds isometric shapes. Heck with that. We're Michelangelo. We can see our isometric shape inside the block of granite. Carve your isometric shapes out of a solid block by clicking and deleting. The kids love it. It's so much fun. And there'll be lots more videos talking about this process and others. But meanwhile, if you do know a better way to do this, I'm interested. I want to know because I don't want close. I want perfect because it matters. All right, you guys, have fun with your isometric shapes. I didn't just say that, did I?